Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Thank you for taking time to cruise in for Car Club Talk with Robert, Randy, and Dana. And welcome to our home in the Lone Star Community Radio Studios house here in Conroe Tower and in the county where the official flag of the Lone Star State was born. I'm Randy Weldon along with Robert Helmer and Dana Pritchard. And sequestered back in the safe room / sound booth is our sound engineer and producer, Dick Schischler. We are broadcasting from Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 and 106.1 FM and streaming worldwide on irlonestar.com, YouTube, and Facebook. Robert, what you got over there?
We got, for our guest today, we have on Cruisin is MG Tindall. Is that correct?
Tindall.
Tindall, okay. And Melissa Jurik, okay. MG is the president and CEO of Inspiration Ranch, and Melissa is the VP of Development for Inspiration Ranch, and they will be in the studio and join us today. Inspiration Ranch provides hope and improves the lives of those with physical, mental, and emotional challenges. And they're located in Magnolia, and they do this with horses, right?
They do it with horses, yeah.
It's a horse equine therapy program, horse therapy program.
Okay.
And they're local, located in Montgomery, and they were located in the Woodlands for a really long time. And I've actually been associated with them as far as helping reach people through through our various charities that we do since 2012. They've been a recipient for Market Street's Change for Charity program too.
Okay.
So
I was going to ask you that if they have.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So they'll be in here and they'll tell us what all they do and how what services they provide. Our second guest is going to be Justin Coggins. He's the chairman and board and executive director of God's Garage. And it's been a while since we've been out there and done anything with God's Garage. And so
It has been.
I think there's a whole new administration there. So we're going to bring him in and we're going to see what's new with God's Garage. You know, I was there at a car show, but that was like years ago. We haven't done a car show there in a long time.
No, but we did a thing at TWC for the Woodlands, whatever that association is.
Yeah, I think they actually gave the car away at Market Street, didn't they?
They gave one of the recipients a car, yeah.
Yeah, they were a recipient of Change for Charity program from Market Street.
Yeah,
and
well,
the
maybe we can get
Woodlands Car
Justin
Club.
in here and so we can do that one more time at Market Street. That'd be really cool to do that at Cars and Coffee.
Yeah, and in fact, I go back 15 years with Justin too. He used to
Oh,
be
you do?
He used to be an owner of Steamworks Mobile Detailing.
Oh, no kidding.
okay.
Yeah,
Didn't know that.
In the automotive industry still, so that's good. He's a
That's
good
good.
guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they're volunteer. They're always looking for volunteers over there. So
Yeah, and they got a new building over there, so like it's
they
doubled the old building.
moved from 2854 over here to the east side of the tracks in Conroe.
Yeah. Okay. Before we get to the news, I was going to ask Randy, how was the MCA show?
MCA show was incredible. It was what a beautiful setting in the convention center in Savannah, Georgia, right there on the river. So they had cars lined up in the grass in front of the convention center, overlooking downtown Savannah across the river.
Yeah.
They must have had somewhere around 400 cars there altogether.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So you think about it, that's all Mustangs, right?
Right.
But they had an inside section and an outdoor section. And unfortunately, I didn't get to walk around it. Yolanda walked around it a little bit, but it was a good time. The weather was perfect, and couldn't ask for anything better. They did a good job pulling everything together and administering, getting people to and from the parking lot and stuff like that.
Okay. It wasn't affected by any of the floods in North Carolina?
Not there.
Like that.
No,
Okay.
that kind of went in between Atlanta and Savannah and straight on up into North Carolina. There were a lot of bucket trucks and stuff around over there doing work. Obviously, South Georgia and East Georgia got affected and northeast Georgia got affected pretty hard on it, but it missed them.
That's good.
So everything was good there.
Okay.
And then I got to spend time with my son, his wife, and grandson once we get back to Atlanta for a couple of days. So that was nice. My grandson's now working at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Okay. Well,
So,
hey, that's where I started. I mean, it wasn't O'Reilly's, but it was an auto parts store. So
I just, I don't know who got him into cars, man.
right.
Let's go get them young.
Did you get to
That's right.
give your DJ services to MCA?
No, not over there. No,
No?
they had their own. It was
had
a
their own, okay.
Yeah, it was a local club like Northside is, and I walked in, and they were like, "Not your music."
So
No.
you didn't get to do karaoke.
Yeah. I tried karaoke. They ran me off.
Okay, well, we get to some automotive news. After California vetoed the bill SB 961 we've been talking about for
Senate
the
bill.
On the speed
on
control
the
thing.
intelligent speed assistance system to be added to new cars, well, New York State has just introduced their version of the same bill. But SEMA is staying on top of this, and they have already notified all their members that this bill has been introduced, and we'll see what happens there. And speaking of SEMA, SEMA and the Work Truck Association in California has filed a lawsuit against California and the Air Resources Board for seeking injunction to stop the electric vehicle mandate on the
on work vehicles.
for the commercial. I don't know if you've been following this story. They passed a mandate that all 18-wheelers have to be electric in order to do the ports and stuff in California by 2030. And the shipping companies are saying, we can't afford this. We're buying trucks right now, so we have new fleets. So they're saying, hey, this is, this can't happen because we just can't afford it. We're just going to be out of business. And also in the suit, and they make a good argument. They said that we already do our best for clean air. They're already buying the new vehicles now, and they're already putting all the equipment on it for new vehicles, and they've always done that. So there's no sense.
Pollution control vehicles.
They've
items.
done their job and their responsibility for keeping air pollution down themselves. You don't need to regulate this. That's what they're saying. And so it says the overreach of California has forced the hand of automotive industry to make this legal action necessary to protect the interests of thousands of automotive aftermarket companies whose $337 billion annual economic impact. So they're
$337 billion in an economic impact.
on the state.
And what about drive time too? I mean, electric doesn't last as long as
It doesn't. I'd be interested to know what the costs are.
The cost of the trucks are almost doubling. So that's another reason why they're saying we can't afford this.
Yeah, it's like any other technology. When the technology's new, it's higher priced
Yeah.
because the production volume's not up.
Yeah.
And then you've got other little quirks, like if everybody remembers cell phones, we go back years ago, the batteries didn't last a half a day.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Driving with the truck drivers, they have to be at a certain location at a certain time.
And another thing on the mandate is if you're outside the state and you're coming in to load or unload at the dock, it has to be electric.
Yeah, the problem is electric's just not there yet, and it won't be
Right.
there by 2030, no matter
I
what
think-
laws they put in place.
I think that's the biggest problem is like this needs to be slowed down a little bit before you mandate it,
Well, actually, and while I was in Atlanta, I attended a meeting with LG, and I ran into a guy that runs their electric charger division, and asked him if he could be on the show. So we've got to get clearance through LG public relations, but once we do that, I'd love to have him on the show because he can address stuff like this.
Right. Yeah, the more information.
Timelines and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
and the more information we need, the more we understand what the problem is.
Yep.
Okay. News number 2 is your car spying on you? Okay.
We all know that's the case.
A nonprofit group reviewed 25 different brands for privacy data sharing and said it's official. Cars are the worst product category we have ever reviewed for privacy. And if you want to know more, go to allaboutcookies.org to see the report on this data. It says your car might be tracking your browse history along with your personal history. And they got with the manufacturers, and they said 84% of the manufacturers said they share your personal information. 76 said they sell your personal information. And it's pretty personal information, and I don't know how they get all of that. If I can find my paper here.
Google.
Well, you've had the black box or whatever they call it on airplanes and stuff like that. There's a box in the car that they can read.
Well, it's
so-
Google. Anything that's on your cell phone, you listen to music on your phone, the car knows everywhere
Well,
you go.
what they collect on you. GM included medical information provided on OnStar, home energy use, including the home energy products and the rate plans that you have.
Wow.
So it's like, how are they getting that?
Wow.
Okay. But there is a story right now also that GM is starting to back off on this because somebody has sued GM because they said they shared their driving information, and now that person cannot get insurance.
Yeah, insurance is
Well, the
more
rates
costly
go up
for them.
too.
Yeah. So he has sued them on that, and they are starting to back off. They're saying, we don't know if that's actually going to happen or not, but that's what they're saying. Honda says they sell your professional or employment relation information. How they get that, I don't know. They find out what occupation you have, what income you have, and who your employer is, along with education information and education level.
Yeah, good luck trying to figure out what I do for a living.
Okay. Kia sells your race, ethnicity, religion, philosophy, beliefs, union membership, genetics, sex life, sexual orientation, job
history,
and education.
Hey, who does that? Subaru?
This is Kia.
Kia.
Yeah.
Oh, wait till Yolanda finds that out.
Yeah. Mazda is public social media information. So they're just searching the social media, I guess, for your Facebook, and Toyota does the same. So,
Because you're on your phone when you're in your car.
yeah.
If you're
And-
on social media, it all links in.
If they're going to go for the sexual stuff, man, I can provide some lewd stuff in my car that I promise you that they're going to have to sell that and give me some money.
Okay.
And when we signed up for State Farm, they wanted to give Philip an air tag for his vehicle so they can track his driving habits.
Yeah.
I can't
And
remember.
he's like, I don't think so.
I'm
Why?
with Liberty Mutual, and there was a period of time that they were going to provide some little thing, and I missed it, and now the rate's not as good, and they don't give me a second chance.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was an air tag. It was something that they wanted him to
Yeah.
install.
Yeah.
in the
You know,
car.
and automotive insurance is getting ridiculous. I think we're going to have to do a whole podcast just on automotive insurance and
Maybe
what's
we
going
should.
on with it.
I just added the second Mustang back, and actually yesterday I went back.
Speaking of that, I'm going through Renew right now on Allstate, and they said, "Oh, we see you have 200,000 miles on that car." And I'm like, "How do you know that? I haven't told you that." He goes, "I see you went to Jiffy Lube and got an oil change."
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, "Oh my God, you mean you know every time?" He goes, "Yeah, I know every time you have maintenance on your car."
Yeah,
It's like
the-
I can see
Carfax.
it.
It's
Yeah.
all connected.
But that's the problem is all this data is connected out there, and everybody's selling the data.
Yeah. And one of the ways of doing it also is, see, your car is pretty much like a computer now, and it's all hooked to the internet. And even when you're vehicle to vehicle, like when you're getting too close to another vehicle, the two vehicles are talking. Not only are they telling each other, "Hey, you're too close," they're searching for your data on your phones, even the occupants in the other car. So this is how all this data is getting collected.
Yeah, and
So,
you can
yeah.
see what the guy next to you is doing on his phone.
So yeah, that's something just to be, to get to know what's going on and tell, just be familiar with the data and what's being shared. And I don't know how
that's going to get worse. It's not going to get better.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I say just stick with the older vehicles.
Yeah.
Let's get the vehicles from back in the 90s, early 2000s, before all this technology started.
Yeah.
That's it.
And another thing that the automotive makers are doing, they're making more money now generated off subscriptions.
Yep. Not
So
from me, but from others.
Yeah.
XM and music or
Yeah,
what?
I don't do any
Yeah,
of that.
Mercedes-Benz.
Roadside of service.
Mercedes-Benz is the worst. $300 subscription a year. They will give you 30 more horses on your engine.
Will they?
Yeah, and a lot of people are upset about this because they're saying, "Look, I bought the car. those 30 horses are already mine. I shouldn't have to pay another $300
And then
for
you'd
you
be
to.
taxed on it too. Each horse you're going to be taxed on.
Each horse, yeah.
Toyota, Lexus has the collision assistant system that you have to pay a subscription for. Subaru has Starlink with emergency service and vehicle diagnostics. Volkswagen has Sirius XM 360 along with CarNet Wi-Fi service. So this is all subscriptions that you have to pay annually. Yeah. And Toyota has Apple CarPlay. Jeep, this one's a fun one. Jeep has the Badge of Honor. That includes 68 trails that you can drive on. But you can upgrade to a 3,000 trail premium subscription for $39.99.
That's to tell you what trails to go get on?
Yeah, what trails to go on.
I can find my own trails.
Well, have you seen the refrigerators that you just watch? You can watch TV.
Oh, yeah, I like
Yeah.
those.
Tell you how to cook stuff, and
Yep.
it's
I like
same
the
thing.
ones you touch and you can actually see what's inside there. And then they tell you what groceries you got to buy.
Yeah.
We're going to be living like the Jetsons.
Hey, your car probably
good
might.
with
Your car might not update that grocery list by itself.
It might. It might.
Okay, we can move on to just upcoming events right now.
Wait till my car gets microphones in the bedroom.
Yeah.
They already do have microphones in the bedroom. If you have Google Nest.
That's called Alexa.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't you change your name?
Siri.
Yeah, I've got different names for them. I've got Ziggy
Henry
on one
and-
of them.
Okay.
Alexa, Amazon, computer, and then I've got Google Mini. I've got them both.
Okay. So his whole
I have
house
the
is
Furbo
internet.
dog camera.
Yeah. So
I've
they
got
know
them everywhere.
They know everything about you then.
Yeah, but I give them something to know. I'm telling you.
I put a piece of masking tape over the camera hole.
Oh no, hell no! I walk around naked.
I'm not.
I mean, nobody wants to see that,
Yeah.
so
He puts on a show for him.
I do it.
He thinks he's going to sell his own subscriptions.
And then you wonder why you get solicitors coming to your door.
That's right. That's right. The Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses are always there.
It's not just the Mormons.
Okay, on upcoming shows, October 27th, Sam Houston Corvette Club is hosting its all Corvette show at Town Green Park in the Woodlands, sponsored by Buckaloo Chevrolet. And Dana and I guess I will make a presence out there too on that day.
Philip going to be there?
Yep, Philip's going to be there. My dad's going to be there.
All right.
And also, we're going to have that company I was talking to you about, that does the upholstery and the wheel repair.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to have a booth out there.
Okay.
that,
Very cool.
And Saturday, too, the Woodlands High School Automotive Enthusiast Club is having their Cars and Coffee on Saturday at Wood Forest Bank Stadium, but that's after the show is going to air. But,
Okay. November the 9th, Nifty 50s Corvette Night.
and we'll be there out there,
Yep.
too.
Okay. And that's 4690 Louetta Road
Louetta, yeah.
in Spring, Texas. And then
Isn't that the Quorum parking lot?
Yes.
Corner of Louetta.
that is a
and-
small parking lot because I went to the Halloween Nifty 50s.
Yeah.
The place was packed. You could barely walk around. And I think he only holds 250 cars, but it was a packed parking
Well,
lot.
how many cars could they get at the Woodlands location? Is it more than the Woodlands location?
He had 500 cars at one time, but I forgot what
But you
location.
can't fit it at the
but
new place?
you're not going to get that
So
over
it's smaller.
there.
I haven't
yeah.
been there yet. Okay.
Well, you weren't going to get it in the Kroger parking lot like they used to be at, so,
Yeah. Okay. So, and we have TWCC November the 3rd, so come out and see us there.
Hopefully it's cooler.
Yeah.
November, I thought we were November 2nd.
On the first
I
Sunday.
got the 3rd.
Isn't that a Saturday?
First
Okay.
Sunday.
Well, it's the
Whatever
first
it is.
Sunday of
Oh,
November.
TWCC.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the north
Oh,
side.
you're thinking the north side is
Yeah,
November
they-
the 2nd.
Car show November 2nd.
Bull
at the
Salas
Bull
Park.
Salas Park, that's right.
Yep. Down.
Indoor parking, covered parking, outdoor parking.
And last I talked to Vernon, they still have indoor and covered parking available.
Do they?
Yep.
But when this show airs, is it going to be after that or?
This will, yeah. Once this, no, this will
No,
still be
this will
before.
still-
This is October 26th.
Yeah.
This one airs.
It should air before that.
Yep.
So get on carshowfun.com and register and tell them you want to be covered or indoors. And it's, like I said, it's still available. It's a beautiful park, a beautiful facility, and it's going to be a great show.
And if you're you're worried about being in New Caney, you don't have to worry too much. They don't just have porta potties; they've actually got indoor toilets.
Yeah, and they also got some nice restaurants right down the street at 99.
They do. Running water, the whole 9 yards.
Okay. All right,
good to
that's
know.
it. So we just get out of here and get it.
Yeah,
to our
let's
guests.
let's take it to some sort of station identification. This is what's the name of the show?
Cruisin',
Car
Car
Club
Club
Talk with Robert, Dana, and Randy. And we are on Lone Star 104.5, 106.1, broadcasting FM. Or for those of you that may wander outside of the listening area, we can be streamed around the globe on irlonestar.com, YouTube, or Facebook.
And we'll be right back with MG and Melissa from Inspiration Ranch.
Car enthusiasts of Conroe, FM 104.5 and 106.1 Lone Star Community Radio invites you to shift into gear every Monday from 1 to 2 with Cruisin' Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy for news on all things automotive in the greater Houston-Conroe area. Can't make a live show? We've got you covered. You can find all of our uncut content, including full episodes on Spotify, iTunes, Play Store, YouTube, Facebook, and irlonestar.com. Again, that's Mondays 1 to 2, Cruisin' Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy. See you there.
We are back and appreciate you spending time to cruise in for Car Club Talk with Robert, Randy, and Dana. And Dana, who do we have in the studio
Very
today?
special guest today. We have MG and we have Melissa from Inspiration Ranch. And we're happy to have them
Thanks
here.
for having
Yeah,
us. We're
appreciate
excited
you.
about this.
Appreciate you guys coming in.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about Inspiration Ranch.
I'd love to do that. So we do a couple of different programs at Inspiration Ranch. We have a therapeutic riding program where we serve children with special needs and adults actually now too. And so we serve about 63 different diagnoses. A lot of our clients have autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy. Lots of them have multiple diagnoses. So they get to come out every week. They get to ride the horses, and there's a huge therapeutic benefit from doing that. And then our second program is our mental health program. And so, again, they work with a licensed professional therapist, an equine professional, and of course, our horses. And so they come in and do actual therapy. We have a high trauma program that we run. So we work with a lot of victims of sex trafficking, abused women, teens at risk, that kind of population.
So how is it that the horses actually benefit the people that are in attendance with what you're doing?
Right. So for the therapeutic side of it, the therapeutic riding side of it, the obvious is the physical. So maybe a child that has cerebral palsy and they might be in a wheelchair, and so they don't know, they don't have that muscle memory for walking. Well, when you ride on the back of a horse, the movement that you do in your hips and your pelvis mimic walking when a horse is at a 4-point walk.
Oh, okay.
And so it gives them that muscle memory that they don't have.
Because the horse is the only animal, is that correct, that mimics
That's
the
correct,
human?
when you're riding, when you're on top of them. So there's a huge physical benefit. A lot of our kids have mobility issues. They might have balance issues, and so that serves there well. We've also seen a lot of kids that have started talking since they've been riding, and it's just refiring neurons to the brain. And so there really is scientific evidence behind it that it creates new pathways in the brain and allows them to be able to do some things that they hadn't done before.
Are they making an actual connection to the horses?
Very much so.
Yeah, they get attached to a certain horse?
Yes, absolutely. They, in fact, sometimes we have to move them. There is really we don't just throw them on whatever horse is available. We pick a horse that's the right movement, the right size, and all of that for them. And so sometimes you have to change that after they've been riding for a while. They might need a new horse, and it's an ordeal sometimes because that's their horse. And so,
How do you find these horses that are not temperamental?
yeah. Well, we train them. So we have two different herds. Our mental health herd is kind of we would prefer them to be a little bit wilder. We want them to act like they do out in the wild because the connection there is that they live in the lower portion of their brain that we live in when we have trauma. So that fight or flight or freeze portion of our brain that we live in. So we want them to respond like that because they have a lot to teach us. And so they can teach us about boundaries. They can teach us about just a whole lot, just how to respond to those fear factors and everything too. Our therapeutic riding herd is a very different animal. We really want them to, we want to learn what their spooks are, and we want them to look to us, to the leader, instead of, their herd for the leader, because we want them to respond well if something happens. And so it's training. We do what's called bomb-proofing them, and so they just learn to, if a tarp blows in there, they learn to freeze and just to stop and not respond and not fly off and do that. So
Right.
We have a pretty intense trial period that every horse goes through before we even put a client on the back of the horse, having our instructors and equine team riding them and really making sure that they are suitable for the program and a good fit. And then they are on a trial program even once we put clients before we actually commit 100%.
And how do you find these horses?
lots of different ways. So we've got a few that came from HPD. The majority of them come from maybe a kid is riding in shows and showing horses and stuff, and they leave for college, and mom and dad don't want to pay for the horses anymore.
Right. Yeah. I do know having a horse is very costly.
Very costly.
Yeah, buying a horse is the cheap part for a lot of times.
Yeah.
It's,
the
it's
maintenance is
keeping
a
the
lot.
horse.
Yes.
They're expensive to run. So.
Especially when you can't find hay and stuff.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask MG if you remember a story, if you could share. It was about the one teenager that was, I think, bullied in school. That never left me, that story, the impact that it had on that student, because with the horse, the relationship that the student developed with the horse, it was almost as if I can overcome or not be afraid of such a large animal, this magnitude, I can go to school and face the bully and not be afraid. That was. Do you remember that?
Yeah, kind of. I think I know that the confidence that it builds in our clients is huge, because especially some of the kids that have some special needs and stuff too, they do get bullied in school, and they know that they're different. They're aware that that they've got some challenges that they have to overcome, and so to be able to show up and have this 2,000-pound animal do what it is that you want it to do, is a pretty big deal to be able to direct them and move them. Even some of our kids are on a ground program, and even just to be able to guide them and get them to go where you want them to be when they could run over you if they wanted to, And so,
I'm sure you have smaller horses though, right? Big horses.
we have big and small. Yeah,
Big and small.
we have 27 horses right now. 8 of them in our mental health, and the rest of them are in our therapeutic riding program, because you need different sizes for, for
different patients,
patients. Yeah.
But the
So that's expensive to keep a horse. My ex-brother-in-law had horses, and so I know it's expensive. And plus, you have to spend a ton of time shoveling out their stall. But how are y'all funded? Is it totally on donations?
We have a mix of funding. We have a pretty diverse funding sources. So we do an annual event every year at the Waterway Marriott, Denim and Diamonds, and that's our largest fundraiser. And then we have foundation support, so we write grants. We have individual giving. We have an Adopt a Horse program where people can come out and actually sponsor a horse, and that really helps us with the overhead and medical care and all those really expenses. And by having those people, and then we put their names on the horse's feeding corral and have them come out and take a picture with the horse, we try to get our donors really invested. And so it's a wonderful investment in our community.
But it's an ongoing effort. I mean, it's not like it's just taken care of.
That's correct. It is an ongoing effort, and Melissa's our VP of development, and we are constantly talking strategy for fundraising to support the program. It is expensive. It costs us $240 every time we put a child in the saddle, and obviously that's not a cost you can pass on, especially to families who already are financially strapped. There's a high volume of divorce within families that have a special needs child, and so I think we can't pass that cost on, and so we do charge $50. We charge them something. We want them to have some skin in the game and some pride and all of that in that, and so, but even probably 45-50% of our clients can't pay that, and so we offer scholarships for anybody. We made the decision years ago, early on in our organization, to not turn anyone away for financial reasons, and we've been able to keep that promise, and so we never turn anybody away for either one of our programs. So.
And that's why I feel like it's important to spread the awareness, and every opportunity I get, I try to highlight the ranch, because not a lot of people know it even existed.
And we're
There's so
also
many-
We have a lot of great volunteer opportunities, and so we invite your listeners to go to our website and look at the different opportunities and maybe come out and visit us. We're on a beautiful 40-acre facility. It will absolutely make your day a lot brighter by coming out and seeing not only the clients whose lives are changing and the horses who are so amazing, but just in a beautiful, beautiful setting.
Yeah, it's a great point because, you were asking about the horses, but even though we do a great job of training them, we still start every rider with 3 volunteers. So they have 2 sidewalkers. They have a sidewalker on each side of them, and then they have a horse leader that's actually leading the horse.
That way there's no fear of getting on the horse for the first time.
Right.
Exactly.
And they're safe, yeah.
So we have a large need. We serve over 110 riders every week, and then we have another 25, 30 people in our mental health program. And so we don't use volunteers for the mental health program, but for that riding program, that's a lot of volunteers.
And that's what I did the training for, was the rider program.
Growing up,
Horse walker.
I had 2 experiences with horses. One was I was in Boy Scouts. We were at camp, and I had gloves on. It was winter. I'm from up north, and had snow. I was feeding the horse, but the end of the gloves were curled up. The horse caught that.
Where this is
took
going.
my glove. Chewed the finger off of it. And somebody explained to me it's like when a horse chomps down, it can't let back up until it's all the way down. So all I could envision was missing finger.
Yeah.
So that was one experience. The other experience was somebody brought a horse to our house. We lived out in the country, and we had a really large, like 5-acre yard. But I got on the horse, and they got it up to a trot, and the saddle slipped around underneath. So all I see is legs flying past me. So just me, I won't go near a horse now. I won't have anything to do with them. And I see, TV where the horse kicks somebody and they go flying back. I'm like, no. But I know people, Robert and I are both on the board of Mustang Club of America, and the president of Mustang Club of America has horses. Yeah. And I've seen the bond. I've gone out to the barn with him. I've seen the bond. He'll go get out of his truck and make some noise or something. The horse comes right up, lays its head right on his shoulder. Very gentle to him, I just don't trust him.
It's amazing relationships they build.
You can come out and we can help you get rid of that.
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right.
We have a program for that. We have a mental health
We do.
program. That's a ground program, so you don't have to. But to your point,
you sound like an ex-wife. We have a mental health program for that.
But to your point, like whenever we have a rider, we have multiple, because horses are famous for like kind of holding out their bellies when you're putting their girth on for the saddle, and then they'll release it and it loosens. So once you get a rider, you have to recheck that girth, and so that's one of the challenges with that.
I'm just glad we're in the age of combustion engines and electric vehicles nowadays.
There you go.
But
They haven't bit me yet, so.
No.
But I was thinking actually to what you were saying about bringing people out to the ranch to see about maybe doing a small car event.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that for a while.
That'd be fun.
I know I tried to do the Wheels and Wine. That didn't really work out in the evenings with that event, but maybe we can have a
Maybe
small
we could think
car
about
event.
doing something near Father's Day or something even, not on that weekend, but maybe like the weekend before or after that would interest people in coming out and stuff too.
Yeah,
That'd
and
be
then
fun.
prior to that, maybe do the showcase, the nonprofit showcase building up to the show, and then this way, the more people would know about the ranch, and then do a special invitation for people to get a tour.
Is the ranch easy to get to?
It is easy to get to. It's easy to get to. We're right off of 249, just like 2 exits north of Tomball.
Okay.
So
it's easy to find, so it'd be a great idea to have a car event there.
Yeah.
yeah,
As long as you have paved parking for the cars.
yeah,
Well, I don't believe people have a problem parking on the grass if they needed to.
yeah.
Yep. As long as it's not muddy, we're in good shape.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
You guys have been recipient, as Dana mentioned, with TWCC, with the Market Street Owners Association. But that's all, our portion of that is put on with bringing out the cars. And you guys have been out there.
Yes. many times.
But that's what, we've got you in here because part of what we do is involved in car clubs and doing these car show events and other events to give back to the community and give back to organizations like yourself.
Yeah.
So do you have, you mentioned the one charity that you have or the one event that you have to raise money.
Yeah.
What other events do you have?
We actually have some family events for our clients this Saturday from 3 to 6. We're going to be having a trot or treat, and that's a adaptive trick-or-treating. And then we also are inviting people. You can go to our website and sign up to host a trunk and hand out candy to our children that are going to be participating. Yeah. We do in Easter, we do Baskets of Love, which is an adaptive Easter egg hunt that we do out there. And then we do community events throughout the year. We were invited by the Pavilion to be part of Hocus Pocus Pops, and we have a miniature horse, Finn, who is fully certified. He can go into schools, hospitals, events like that.
That's pretty cool.
And so we had Finn out there, and he was taking pictures with people coming to the Hocus Pocus Pops. We're going to be going to Texas Children's in the Woodlands, and part of their Halloween event next week. So throughout the things, and when we get invited to come be part of a car show, that's something we can, now that we have Finn, we can actually bring Finn.
Remember we were talking about getting a horse
to be part of, because it really does bring people. And so it's constant.
And you do the wine.
We do Let's Unwind.
The stores give back.
Yeah, we do wine events during the summer to collect wine for our gala, where we have this huge wine pool that we do. So people come to like a local wine store, and they will purchase bottles of wine and donate it to us, and the stores put on a free wine tasting for that.
That's fun.
We collect 200 to 300 bottles of wine, and then so you get to donate wine that you can buy back at our gala. It's a great deal.
Oh, you're selling those back, so that okay. I figured those were going home with somebody.
They could be.
Yeah, I imagine at some point in time doing all this gets somewhat stressful, and trying to keep everybody well balanced is just difficult.
Yeah,
not easy.
We work hard on it. I think we find a pretty good balance of. And plus we have fun. I was telling somebody the other day that we have a great team, and I think our team really loves each other, and we enjoy spending time together, and that helps. It's hard to go to work where you don't want to be and stuff too. So we're on a beautiful facility with a great group of people, and
everybody loves horses.
Yeah.
What's the most rewarding thing about aspect of what you guys do?
Oh my gosh! Well, we don't get to often be out in the arena and see the actual day to day. So we have like a little area on one of our teams where we share stories and stuff like that. So hearing some of the stories of some of the successes of some of these kids, that we had a kid that was scared to get on, and it took like 4 months to get him on. But the day that he got on, you can imagine the celebration that everyone had and stuff. And so they just don't give up out there on those kids, and they really see some successes. And so I think hearing those, and getting to remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing, because you do forget sometimes you're like caught up in the hubbub, and so we have to constantly remind ourselves
the mission.
And you hear the testimonials at the gala, but to be there every day to witness them firsthand has to be just...
Even that though, Dana, like when we go to get those stories, like every time they come in, and like she'll go, here's another story that you might be able to use for the gala, or we use them for grant stories and different events that we do and stuff like that. Just reading through those, and sitting in my office sobbing, because going, this is why we do this. It's amazing.
Or unprompted, you have a grandparent whose grandchild has been just absolutely transformed through this program, right? A heart-wrenching note and sweet note, and that really drives everybody to the purpose of why we're there.
How long are they in the program?
As long as they want to be.
As long as they want to be. Is there any objective, any marker that y'all are trying to achieve with each child, or?
It's all individualized.
All individualized.
Where they're starting from, what their goals are, and what we can do to help them.
That's a fun question though, because when we do like our team, the lady that runs the program, Darlene, she'll have them in to do an assessment before they start riding to kind of find all that out.
Right.
Well, the parents' goals are always things like socialization and balance and whatever it might be, and then the kids are like want to learn to ride. So the great thing about
do you have a doctor's goal that Do-
We
doctors
don't
are-
necessarily have a doctor's goal. We do get physicians' releases, and
Right.
so they'll say some of the challenges on there sometimes on
Okay.
that form. But the kid wants to learn to ride, so our instructors are certified to teach riding lessons to people with special needs. So they're not therapists. There's
Right.
just a great therapeutic value to it, and so. So they actually get to spend the time teaching these kids to ride, and then we take them to shows. They do Special Olympics, they do Top Hands with the rodeo. We have 2 or 3 shows, local shows that we do, and then we throw our own show. We throw one ourselves at the ranch in the spring. So.
Is this also for adults?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, we have a new seniors program that we just started that's targeted at 65 and up. I'm almost there. I can almost participate. I'm really close. And so we're excited about that too. We're just kind of getting this started and everything. But, you know, a lot of our seniors, especially if they're in nursing and memory care homes, it's a forgotten generation. You know, they kind of get there and we forget about them and they don't get a lot. So it's a great place for them to come out. They can socialize. They can get some strength and doing it's a ground program. They
That's
don't
one of the
actually
things
ride,
about
but
people that are in the homes. They don't get they lose their strength.
yes,
They are not able
Yes.
to almost not able to carry their own weight.
exactly.
And so this would be a great help.
Yeah. So
And
this does, and for those that are bedridden, we can take Finn to them. So for people that are can't get out of the nursing home.
Well,
so.
that's great. That
Yeah.
You're touching everyone.
And I think it would be another program that would be nice is to find a way to get people off of their cell phones and onto horses.
Amen.
You
Right.
know, integrating with people,
Yeah.
Building relationship with the animal, connection, so they don't feel like they have to be on their phone so
That's
much.
right.
You know?
We do have an absolute no cell phone policy.
Yeah, I'll bet you
in the
do.
arena.
I bet you do.
But wouldn't that be something though to get the
Yeah.
kids
to
interested
get outside
into
and
the,
get fresh air
Yes.
and yes, all of
Yeah.
that's great.
Nobody expects for their child to be born with any sort of a handicap, and I think as you go through life, you don't expect anything to happen where you end up with a handicap. You mentioned you're close to 65. I'm past that, and I'm living it right now. I've got to go in for a back operation. I've had a couple of hips replaced, both shoulders reattached. And it's just you can go in for the maintenance, but you can't always get it all repaired. So I've got limitations myself right now. So it's got to be awfully inspiring and uplifting once you see the growth of these people, whether they're young or old, to go through the program and come out the other side and feel so much more self-assured. It's got to be.
For sure, definitely. We had a client, this has been several years back, but it was a stroke patient, and she was 80-something years old, and she'd had a stroke, and so she'd lost the use down her right side, and came out and rode and just made huge grounds, like quick, it strengthens and quickens everything too. You're getting a huge movement that you can't really do yourself and stuff too. So we've seen clients like that too.
That's good.
And you've got a connection with another being
Yes.
of some sort.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a miniature schnauzer,
Yeah.
and I'm tight with her, right? But I can't relate to it being a horse. I may have to go
They're
through your
pretty
program.
similar.
they
Yes,
are.
I think horses and big dogs are pretty similar.
Animals are healing.
Yes,
Animals
they,
are
they
healing.
want
They are.
affection. They're extremely empathetic. Horses are very tuned into what you're feeling, and can read subtext.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. We're in a Mustang club and you're scared of horses.
Yeah, well,
That's why the mental health program works, though, is because they are in tune to our feelings. And, we always say you have to be honest with yourself when you're out in the arena, because if you're not, they know.
They'll pick
They
up
know.
on
They
it.
really, they pick up on it, and they're not going to give you the time of day if
Yeah.
you're not honest with yourself and how you're feeling and stuff, too. And so they're non-judgmental. And so, it's easy, it's easier for a child who's had abuse in their life, and they're scared of us because it's humans that have hurt them, and so
Yep.
they're not willing or interested in sharing that story with us. But you ask that child to take a walk around the arena with that horse, and they'll share that story. And once those words come out, that healing begins. And now they might be really ready to tell us, and
Yeah.
that therapist can help
It's
them
amazing.
heal.
Yeah.
I love it.
we're gonna have to get out of here for some station recognition. But how do people get in touch with you?
Yeah, so on our website is the best way, inspirationranch.org, and there's tabs on there for everything. You can learn about the programs, you can learn about volunteering, you can learn about donating, supporting our horses, the Adopt a Horse program.
Sign up to get on to our email list, and we'll
newsletter.
send you updates and what's going on at the ranch, and email us and come out and set up a
Yeah.
time to come out and see us in person. We'd love to have you.
Info at inspirationranch.org too gets to whoever it needs to go to. So
All right. And then where are you physically located at? Where's the
we're
ranch?
located. We're on Wright Road in Magnolia, and like I said, it's 249 Hardin Store Road. We're right at that intersection, just north of Tomball.
And what about a phone number for y'all?
Our phone number is 281-719-9322.
All
I had
righty.
to think about that for a minute. I have to call myself.
And we look forward to having you out at Market Street again soon, I
Yeah.
hope.
Yes,
Thanks.
Very, very soon.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much for having us
Yeah,
out. We're
thank
really grateful for this
you.
opportunity.
Guys.
Well, we appreciate you guys coming in, and we're going to slide on out of here, but thank you again for
You
coming in
bet.
the studio.
Thank
Y'all have
you.
a great day.
This is Cruisin' Car Club Talk on Lone Star 104.5 and 106.1 FM, or for those Globetrotters out there, we can be streamed anywhere on earth at irlonestar.com, on Facebook, or on YouTube. I'm Randy Weldon, and this guy,
Robert Helmer, and we'll be right back with our next guest.
And I'm Dana.
you are still Dana.
Every Friday, tune into Texas Ticket on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM with Armando Nino of Gold Lake Conroe, focusing on Montgomery County area events and places. Get a feel of the Texas spirit at the event, paired with guest and vendor interviews, event coverage, and ticket giveaways, and so much more. Join us Fridays and punch your Texas ticket. For more information on the show, visit irlonestar.com/Texas Ticket.
Welcome back. Our guest this segment is Justin Coggins of God's Garage. And I've actually been involved in one of your giveaways out at Market Street Association.
Yes.
But Robert, you set Justin up to come in here, and we
Yeah.
appreciate you doing that. We appreciate you being in the studio.
It's been a while since we've had God's Garage in here, and so we wanted an update. We want to know what's been going on with God's Garage.
Oh, we can. I don't know where to start. We could go anywhere with that. So, I guess I could just start where I began.
Where you came in.
Yeah,
Right.
where I started. So in 2021, of course, COVID happened. 2020, the board was running God's Garage, and so then they were on the lookout for an executive director. They're going to hire someone to run.
Right.
The
That's
facility.
your actual title, Chairman of the Board, Executive Director.
Yes, sir. That's a mouthful, but
Chairman of the board was the name of his band back in the day.
That's it. That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So I came apart. I joined God's Garage in 2021. Wasn't looking for another position. My background is small business. I've owned 4 different businesses and currently have one going now. So I wasn't really looking for another place. And but I knew the founder. I knew what God's Garage was all about. One of my business names was actually on their trailer. And so anyway, I just decided I'd go for it.
Right.
They interviewed me, said, hey, yeah, long story short, I ended up getting the position. And boy, has it been an adventure since then. It's a whole different world. Nonprofit world is a different, different world, different animal. And it's been quite a pleasure being a part of it. We've got to see, so many lives changed and touched.
Yes. All you have to do is go to one giveaway, and you're touched by that.
Oh, you're going to be crying?
Yeah.
Just the way it is, man.
That's exactly right. It is it's a moment for sure.
Yeah.
For everybody, the recipient, the one who's giving the car away, the volunteers who are involved, who are working on that vehicle, just everybody involved. And it's a great tool also to bring in new help. So
Right.
we enjoy that.
And you guys are all volunteer, right? I mean, the whole
Yes.
thing's volunteer.
Yeah, so in 2019, so we used to be on 2854 was our location. We bought 12 acres over here on the other side of Conroe, right here on 2100 East Davis Street.
Yeah, just east of the tracks there.
Just east of the tracks. And so we decided at that time 105 they were going to widen 105, TxDOT. So
And
they
they're
took
still-
our
they're
building.
still doing it?
Yeah, they're still doing it. And I think it's like 2027 maybe for our section to be done.
Oh, really?
So, but they ended up taking our building from us. And so at that point we were like, okay, we've got to do something. And we had always had a vision or a dream of building a new facility. And so that kind of spurred that on. We ended up building a brand new building.
Yes. I drive by that every day. I haven't been there to see it, but it is just beautiful.
Oh, you need to come by.
Yeah.
All of you need to come by and check
It
it
doubled
out.
the size of the old building, I believe.
Oh, it was at least double.
Yeah.
Right now we're in 10,000 square feet.
Okay.
It's about 5,000 square feet of office, admin, and then 5,000 square feet of a shop.
Yeah.
And then we have a pole barn in the back. And then we have another little barn back there in the very back of the property. So it gives us plenty of room to grow, 6 bays in there. So there's a lot of potential there
Yeah.
to grow.
And all the cars are donated, right?
Right.
Yes. So absolutely. So we cover a 75-mile radius. And so every vehicle that we receive is donated to us, and we usually send the guys out in twos, and it's volunteer teams. So we're always looking for volunteers. There's plenty of places for them to come and join and be a part. We send them out in twos, pick those cars up, bring them back.
So you're actually picking the cars up that are donated.
We are.
They're not having to bring it to you.
Wait a minute.
No, that's right.
You send them out in teams looking for cars?
No, yeah. No, we actually, so
I'm wondering who kept knocking on
Yeah.
my front door.
Are they
who was
repo?
doing that? It's not the Jehovah Witness knocking at your door.
If you don't pay your bill,
Yeah, that's
we're
right.
gonna take your car.
And there you go.
So on our website at godsgarage.org, there's a place on there you can pick donate your vehicle. And so they get to fill out the application process and schedule a time when works best for them. And so once that's scheduled, we'll send a team out there, and Monday through Friday, we'll go out and pick up vehicles. And almost all those vehicles are non-runners,
Right.
is what we call them. And so we bring those back, and then we'll do an eval on them and figure out, is there any potential there that we can actually fix this car and
And then
turn
how
around?
much is it gonna cost too, and
Right.
the time.
Exactly.
So what do you
There's a
do with the
lot.
cars that are evaluated and not being repairable?
Yeah, so typically we salvage those vehicles.
Parts.
Some of them we use for parts. Some of them are in conditions that you don't even want those parts. But
Yeah.
we'll salvage them. We can get whatever money we can and put that right back in.
Right.
See,
to
they're
those
selling,
vehicles.
they're stripping out and selling the copper.
Right.
There you go. Somebody's got to do it.
That's
No.
right.
How many people do you actually have on your board?
Okay, on our board there is 6 right now,
Okay.
counting myself.
Okay. That's
we
about the
just-
size of our car club.
There you go. So we'll hopefully add another one soon. And 7 for me, 7 is the perfect.
It's a perfect number.
Perfect
Yeah.
number. That's
Got to have that odd number.
You got to have it. And
Well, I'm a big proponent of the number 7 for whatever reason, you know.
yeah, it's a good number.
Mom and Dad did take me to church while I was growing up.
Yeah,
so
that's right. There's significance there.
there is.
We actually have 6 employees, and then we run about 190 volunteers a year
That's
through
amazing.
that garage.
So you have 6 paid employees.
6 paid. Yes.
So,
How do you find your volunteers?
So I'm glad you asked. That's a good question. Everywhere we look,
Word of mouth.
everywhere, word of mouth, social media, churches. We partner with a lot of people, a lot of churches, and so we solicit to the churches. Hey, we need your help. And so that's really one of the neatest things about God's Garage is that in the world we live in, churches, there's denominations, and everybody's in their own little corners. At God's Garage, we're a standalone. We're not associated with a denomination. And what's neat is we have every kind of denomination, non-denomination, interdenominational churches. People come and volunteer, and it's really cool to see all those people come together under one banner, you know, under
Right.
God, and working for the good of the people. And it's really fascinating.
What do some of the volunteers do? What do you need help with?
Yeah,
Yeah.
good question. So we definitely need mechanics. We're always looking for mechanics, and that's anywhere from shade tree to, hey, I just want to change oil, to master mechanics. And on our staff, we have a master mechanic, and so everything gets checked through him before those cars go out the door. But we use, and we could use anybody in there who's willing and wanting to put in the time and effort as far as that goes. We need facilities people. We've got lots of ground to keep up, keep clean, facilities to take care of, cars to take care of,
The building to take care of.
the building to take care of. We need people. We have this incredible program, what we call Restore You. So God's Garage is known for giving cars away, but what most people don't realize is the other side of what we do, and it's pouring in to these single moms, these widows and wives of deployed military from a spiritual standpoint and an socioeconomical standpoint. We want to help them break that cycle of poverty off of their life. Most of the ladies that come through there, I mean, if they're coming for a free car, they're desperate. They're in rough spots usually. A lot of domestic violence, a lot of unhealthy habits and stuff.
And that's where you have the program. Last time I was familiar with your programs, you had checking accounts.
Yes.
How to keep a checkbook.
Yes.
Kind of like going through their finances, helping their finances.
Yes.
Is that part of the Restore You program?
That's
Yes.
exactly right.
Teaching them skills?
Yep.
That's exactly right.
Similar to what maybe the women's shelter would teach
It's
women.
exactly
Yeah.
like that.
Job
So,
skills.
so it's
maybe.
Restore YOU, not Restore-U.
Right. It's just you, like university, just
Okay.
to restore you. So it's kind of a play on words there. But it started, in the early days. So God's Garage has been around since about 2010.
Right.
We got our nonprofit status in 2016. But since then, we have just grown leaps and bounds. And so what we took this small little program that was just feeding these ladies sandwiches, hanging out in the shop, trying to give them a car, to something now where we can actually have a full-blown program where we can pour in and give these ladies resources
Right.
to help them
To
out.
help them get on their lives and be better. Yes.
Absolutely. So
Well, that's why the one thing I remember, the giveaway that we were a part of, because we were invited by Dana with TWCC for the Market Street thing, because we were there raising money that quarter for God's
Yes.
Garage, using our cars.
yes, we
but-
appreciate that.
But we appreciate it. It was just so heartfelt. The gal that got the car, I'll just never forget. She was telling a story about how, she had to get groceries. She had 3 kids, and
Yeah.
she would use Uber to get to and from the grocery store. But she couldn't take all 3 kids because then they wouldn't have enough room for the groceries and the kids. So one of them had to stay at home.
Oh, yeah.
And she felt so guilty about leaving at home. I think she came out of a domestic violence situation.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody hug so many people, and
Yeah.
and tears flowing, which had my tears flowing.
Yeah. That is true, and that story right there is replicated over and over. I mean, it's horrific things that happen to these women, and then to turn around and be able to pour in something positive and give them an opportunity to see hope in a new way, and also keys to a car. I mean,
And they're getting their dignity back, basically.
Exactly.
Too.
Yeah.
That's a
Yes,
big part of
exactly.
it.
Very much.
absolutely, it's a big deal.
Yeah, I just it's you guys do some really good work.
Thank you.
We've had some people that were part of our Mustang Club that volunteered with you. I don't remember Charlie's last name, but he was a part of it. And I just remember once he got involved in that, he was more interested in that and being part of the car club because of the feeling of giving back
Yes.
was so intense.
Yes.
Which I fully understand, But I just, as you guys go out, when I lived in Atlanta, Georgia, there was a foundation called the Tommy Nobis Foundation. And they did the same thing. They took cars in and reworked them. I had a car that I bought used from somebody and put a lot of money in it, and it still was breaking down. So I called them, and they came and they hauled it off. I'm out there going, don't come. But I was so happy to get rid of that car at that point in time. I'm sure they went through it with a fine-tooth comb, made a good car for somebody. It was one more thing that every time I get in it, something else would break. I was like, I'm done.
I think we're pretty familiar with that part of it too.
Can you tell us the criteria? How does the program work exactly?
Yeah, so seeing that we only have 6 employees, it's hard to answer phones. It's hard to take applications. So right now we receive over 3,000 applications a year, and we're giving away
for people that are looking for cars or have the
Cars
need.
or have them repaired?
both. So they're applying for cars, which most people are applying for cars,
Right.
and then single moms, widows, or wives deployed military who already own a vehicle and they need repairs. We'll do those repairs for them to an
Okay.
extent.
Yeah.
And
I
how do
didn't-
you choose?
Yeah, so this is how it works. They go online, they fill out the application. There is a ton of things that has to be answered.
Yep.
Once they apply, that application goes into a system that we have custom made for us. And we have 3 areas we want to check and make sure they're within mission, which are they a single mom, widow, wife of deployed military, and are they within a 75-mile radius? If that checks out, then from there we go to a basic review. We want to know their story. We want to know that they're, say who they who they are, exactly what they're saying is accurate. And then we'll vet them. We have a vetting team, a volunteer vetting team that calls every single applicant, finds out in detail. We have systems where we check to see if they have cars in their name already. I mean, it's a very income verification, driver's license verification. I mean, there's a lot to it.
Very thorough.
Because we have to. I mean, we're dealing with donated funds, and we only have so many
you
cars.
Make sure it goes to the right person.
It goes to the right
some
person.
people who need it more than others, so you have
Absolutely.
to really be careful.
That's exactly right. So what happens is once they get through that vetting process, then we send out invitations to them, inviting them to this Restore You seminar. And so in this seminar, it's on the second Saturday of every month. In that seminar, all-day deal, the very first thing we do, and we don't shy away from it, it's in our name, we present the gospel. We give them an opportunity to accept Jesus as their Lord and Savior. And myself as an ordained minister and traveling evangelist and going to other nations and seeing things happen, that's, to me, is the number one thing. You have to have Christ first. So we give them that opportunity. Then we do single parenting. You had mentioned the finances. Right. We have a volunteer who pays for every single lady to have the Dave Ramsey program.
Yeah.
The books, the workbooks, the whole thing. Yeah, it's amazing. And so someone pays for that. Yeah. And then we have a team that comes in and cooks for everybody there. And then they give them crock pots. So it's a huge deal. It's a big event that whole day. And what you'll see is when these ladies walk in, you see depression, you see oppression, you see just life wearing them out. But time they leave, there's a smile on their face, probably for the first time in a long time. Yeah. And then they have a sense of hope. Yep. And then what we try to do from there is connect them, if they want to, connect them to a local church or someone that can help develop some of their skills, discipleship, things like that. So first and foremost is we want to touch them spiritually. We want to make that impact because it's a generational thing. Yeah. And we want to break that off of them and help them get started on the right foot. So that's the very first thing. After that, then the car comes along. And so once they attend that class, they end up on another
So by the
form.
time they notify you, get on the website, fill out the forms, and go through that, they've gone through a pretty good journey before they got that key.
That's right. It's anywhere from 3 to 6 months, and sometimes it's longer. Just recently, we gave a car away. I didn't even realize that I'd signed a car to a lady who 1 year to the day, she got the car 1 year later.
What do you do in emergency situations where
So
they're going to lose their job if they don't get to work?
Yeah, I mean, it makes it really hard.
Kids, how do you choose? I mean,
it's right. You really can't, and all of those things weigh on us, and there's only so much we can do. Right. And so we have to follow the process. We have to make sure we do. Anybody can sign up and apply for those vehicles that are in mission. But, we listen to our partners, too. We partner with churches. They'll recommend people, different organizations, Family Promise, just different places like that will recommend somebody that's
even
already done the hard work.
Too.
Automotive shops. We get a lot of feedback. And so we take all that in consideration, and it helps with the vetting process. But like I said, the list, there's 3,000 apply every year. And we have to go through that whole entire list to find the one,
Yeah, that's got to be really tough.
It is.
But I like you building the foundation first for them.
Yeah.
And then to go to the next step.
So. You have to.
Do you ever have any of those people come back and volunteer?
We do. We actually get, we have actually one of the ladies, her name's Candy. She actually works in the shop. She works on the cars and fixes those cars. We have other ladies who are applying now. Sometimes, to be honest with you, I'm very particular about who we let in to volunteer, especially if it's someone that we've helped, because we don't want them learning the inner workings and then give information to other people and find a way to try to beat the system, just to be clear. But, there are a few that come back and help, and so that's always
That's got to be really got to feel good.
Oh, it's amazing, especially when we give another car away and they're a part of that gifting, and they can stand there and say, hey, I was a recipient of a vehicle.
I wonder if they ever cook for you guys, like the ladies. They cook.
Yeah.
Bring you for food.
Yeah. Well, we do have a meal train, and anybody can sign up and bring food on Wednesdays. So.
I know a lady who bakes cakes really well.
Yeah.
I
We've
want to
had
know
plenty
when,
of those, yeah.
when you're going to have your next car show.
Well, that's something we haven't done in a while.
It's a lot of
long
work.
time.
It's a lot of work to
Yeah.
put together, and you're already stretched as far as time
Yeah.
and
I know.
resources.
It's exactly right.
But at the same time, the car club community is very supportive of this organization,
Yeah.
and I know they'll be there as soon as you just set a date.
Yeah, we did. Our last one we did was on Margaritaville out there. I don't know if y'all remember that. I think it was in 22. Man, we had a huge turnout. That was such a big deal. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it was such a great turnout. So
Well,
we
maybe what
may
you
do one in
maybe
the
what
future.
you got to get just an idea. Get in touch with a local car club and
Yeah.
see if they'll host it for you.
Yeah,
You know?
I think we can. I think we could probably
we
work
could
on
we
that.
could put that out there. Is there any car clubs out there right now who would like to host a car show for them? Just let them know.
Yeah,
And we can
absolutely.
also showcase you at Market Street.
Yeah,
you
that
know,
would be awesome.
Maybe if not a recipient of their Change for Charity program, but definitely highlight you as a special guest charity.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, that would be
Robert,
awesome.
aren't you the vice president of the car club? Are you kind of volunteer in a club? Or
I can throw that out there. This is something that's dear to my heart, and like I said, I know we can do it. They turned out last time we had one there.
Yeah.
yeah,
This
you
may
had
be
one at the shop.
This
I
may be
remember, a
something we
couple
can
years
put on
ago.
our 2025 calendar.
Okay.
So
Yeah, let's
we'll-
talk about it.
yep.
Let's see
Drum
what
up
we can
some
do.
volunteers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, it's good when we get to do those things. It's, when you're grinding and you're focused on trying to reach people and help them.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of resources, but if you have people who will jump in and say, "Hey, we can do this part for you. We just need you to show up and be a part of it," then that changes the game for us.
Yeah, and I was thinking also, if you needed mechanics, what a better way to go than visit all the car clubs and say, hey, we need some mechanics because you already got car enthusiasts,
Yep.
that love working on cars to begin with.
And it'd be a volunteer position.
yeah, it'd
Yeah.
be volunteer. So it's a win-win for everyone.
It's just as far as making sure you're retired and not have a full-time job.
Yeah,
Well, you could have a full-time job, just maybe not for long.
yeah, right. There you go.
Yeah, because the paid positions, who are they? Are they the mechanics, the administrative?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
admin, and we have two master mechanic, and then a shop foreman, and those
Okay.
two guys are paid
Okay.
in the back. But that's all we have in the back there. Everyone is volunteers, so
And so who answers the phone?
nobody.
Nobody.
It's called voicemail.
It is absolutely that. I mean, it
Can you do
sounds hilarious,
remotely?
but
And
we
just-
do.
I'll answer the phone if you can do it.
Yeah,
And just send
It's-
them to Dana.
it's hard because when you're taking in 3,000 applications, and then all 3,000 people want to call multiple times a day to find a status or this or that, and you have 6 people, you can't always get on the phone. So we have a service that we use, and then voicemails are left, and we'll go back, depending on what they are, and answer those and get to people as quick as we can.
Yeah.
But if we could literally spend all day, every day just on the phone.
Right.
But Justin, we appreciate you coming in. We're going to have to get out of here to close the show. But how do people get in touch with you?
Yeah. So always on the web, godsgarage.org. Best place, all information.
It's a very informative website. It's a really good website.
Thank you.
You have an email address?
That's where you can find it. I don't want you emailing me personally.
Yeah.
But yes, godsgarage.org. Visit that website. On there, there's sign-ups at God's Garage. Contact us at God's
Contact them.
Garage. All of those email addresses are on our website, and that's the best place. I mean, if you want to volunteer, if you want to donate a car, if you just want to find time to come out and take a tour and look at our facility and see what's going on, that's the place to do it. And
Okay.
we would definitely welcome that for
Yeah,
sure.
What about a phone number?
Oh, phone number, so you
So
can leave
actually,
a
the best way to get a hold of them is go to
Go to
godsgarage.org.
I heard that the first 10 times.
So there's basically, since they're inundated with calls, it's best to go to their
Yeah.
website and
You
pick
know,
what tab you want.
I have to ask the tough questions.
Yes, you do. Thank you for asking.
But I'm here to field them.
Thank you.
Field those calls.
Well, Justin, we appreciate you being on the show, and this is not going to be the last time. We're going to ask you again, and
I'd love to do it.
like I said, we'll be talking about doing a car show for y'all guys.
I think we should schedule a tour between the 3 of us to get out there.
Yeah,
Please.
that'd be a great.
Yeah,
See
let
it
me know.
firsthand.
Yeah, let me know when you want to come. I'll show you the place, and I'm sure
We
y'all would
won't
have some
call first.
ideas. Yeah.
We'll email.
You email us.
Email you. Yeah.
You go.
All right, man. Well, thank you again.
Thank you.
Appreciate you
Justin.
coming in. And that's it for this episode of Cruisin' Car Club Talk. I'm Randy Weldon. That's Robert Helmer. This is Dana Pritchard. Locked up back there in the safe room / sound booth is our sound engineer and producer, Dick Schischler. We are broadcasting from the studios of Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 and 106.1 FM and streaming worldwide on irlonestar.com, Facebook, and YouTube.
And we'll see you next on the next episode. Cruisin is a show to inform, educate the community on local car clubs, the events, and what they put on within the Montgomery County and surrounding areas. And see you next time.
Bye.
See everybody.